This is the Altimaniac from Forza Racing. It is a 1300 horsepower Formula Drift car with the body of a Nissan Sentra just mangled and stretched over the top of it, basically. It's unique because you can actually see the steering components behind the wheel, but they're not attached to anything. What a surprise. This is part of the Horizon Racing Car Pack, which only has one real race car in it, believe it or not. Also, it's neat because the exhaust basically comes out right in front of your face. So if you got the windows down and you're going real quick, you're going to breathe nothing but exhaust. This thing basically just has a run-of-the-mill Formula Drift tune in it. It's got 1300 horsepower coming out of a Nissan GTR engine, so it's a V6 with 2 turbos. We're going to go hit some drift zones with it. I think we're going to start here because it's got a good mix of real tight corners and some decent straights. So let's see how this thing performs, shall we? Let me just cut this bug off. Now, currently this car has no tune on it. It has no upgrades. It has nothing. It is 100% stock. It is exactly how you get it out of the pack when you buy it. It is on drift tires. That means it does not slide super well sideways, but it is much more controllable because it has a lot more grip than the drag tires or the snow tires that people typically put on their drift cars. I'm normally a snow tire man. Tell me how you prefer to tune your drift cars in the comments, because I am actually quite curious on what most people do. It does not struggle putting the power down. It does struggle staying sideways sometime though, so you do kind of need to be going fairly quick in order to get her to stay sideways. Come on, car. It does handle fairly well. It is a Formula Drift car, of course, so it does like to snap back and forth really quite well. But it is unlikely that you will be beating any personal bests with this thing just stock. You can do upgrades, of course. You can make it have like 2000 horsepower and you can tune it and all sorts of stuff, but we're not going to be doing that today. We're just reviewing the car straight out of the pack just to see how it is, if it's worth buying, if it's not. But so far, it's looking like this thing is going to be worth buying. From the previous car, the Pagani, as well as this one, I like both of these cars. In third gear, it tops out at about 115. And in fourth gear, it's looking like 145-ish. So that's how fast your tires are spinning. Oh crap, I killed a family. So that is how fast your tires are spinning while you're drifting. That tends to be right around where I tune my things to anyway, give or take. But I always give myself another gear or two just in case, so I can get a little bit more wheel spin out of it. And it pushes the car forward a little faster, and that can be helpful sometimes. Let's hit the reservoir, shall we? This is a very good drift spot. I am a big fan of this one. The way the corners all kind of blend together and there's no long straights or anything makes this drift zone definitely one of my top 3. Excluding the mountain, of course. This would be number 4 if the mountain was included. Look at how nice and smooth these are. There's no huge amounts of elevation change. The roads just flow together. It drives phenomenally, and it is always one of my favorites. It's also really quite good to race on. The track that comes along this road is really quite fun. There is just something about the V6 that comes out of a GTR that sounds so good, especially in like a drift car. Just awesome. That being said, it's also fun to put in the other Sentra and turn it up to like 1000 horsepower and race that car. That thing is just an animal when you do that. This thing handles really quite well. The more I drive this car, the bigger a fan of it I am, honestly. It's kind of wearing on me. I originally didn't quite like it that much, kind of like I don't with the Formula Drift cars. What did we get? 367? Personal best is 385, so we weren't too far off, actually. But I'm not a fan of the Formula Drift cars, really. I mean, I like the way they look, but the way they're tuned and stuff just doesn't sit right with me. Of course, you can change that, and I always do. All-wheel drive typically, and go for snow tires is my normal go-to for drifting cars. But this one, actually, the longer I drive it like this, the more I'm enjoying it. If you like this car and you think it looks neat, and if you like the way I'm handling it or whatever, and you want to buy the pack, I would recommend it if you have a spare $5. So far, all the cars in it have been really quite good. And I think next we're going to be taking it down the mountain. Of course, we have to do a mountain test on a drift car, because otherwise, what's the point? Damn, if I would have really tried, I probably could have beaten my personal best on this one. That is pretty surprising. Damn near 365 again. Not too bad. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying these overviews of these cars that you have to pay money for. I figured it would be a good thing to do because I was going to buy them anyway, and maybe somebody else needs some information on them. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Side note, I'm drifting in 6th gear right now, which is nuts. I don't even know how fast the tires are going right now, but it helps propel you really quite quickly, and it's kind of nice.